Welcome back to another Wheel Wednesday, where I spin this wheel and then draw the thing that is what the wheel says. Yeah. So today's prompt was by 4 Elements, and it was like made 2 months ago, and it was, or is, as you will see, the embodiment of the wheel. Spoilers. It is, yes, the embodiment of the wheel. So what I decided to do for that is to, well, make an embodiment of the wheel. But the way I did that was by redrawing some of my previous Wheel Wednesday drawings inside the wheel itself. But I also tried to alter them in a way. It's not just a copy and paste. It is more of a symbol of the previous drawings, or like an alternate time of them. That you'll see. I mean, I guess if you don't know the old ones, you won't see. You get it. You get it. I did not go with all of them, all the past ones, obviously, but I kind of just chose somewhat arbitrarily. I probably should have thought about it more honestly, to get different main color groups next to each other on the wheel, which I did not do. I just kind of put them in there. The only ones that I thought about their actual placement were the 2 snake ones, and I just put them opposite each other. That is the most in-depth part of my placement thought process. What else? Since I knew I was gonna do color inside the wheel panels, I made the wheel itself nice black and white. I don't know, because I did not have an idea of a way to otherwise incorporate the inside color with all the outsideness. Yeah. Words. So the outside of the wheel is black and white, and then the inside is obviously very colorful. I feel like I'm losing the plot here. I'm just yapping, as is typical on a Wheel Wednesday. I put an eyeball in the middle because it being an embodiment of a thing, I thought, oh, it should be alive. And here I'm adding in the base background colors of the wheel spinner, and as you can see with the 3 dark blue ones, yeah, I probably should have spread them out a little bit more, but oopsies. I guess I'll go over the panels, or what they are. So the first one I do is day 1779 for the Fact Keeper, which is like a owl human person creature thing with all the facts, hence owl with bookshelf behind them. And I tried to keep the colors consistent with the original, especially with the backgrounds. Well, I guess especially with everything, but whatever. But yeah, already you can see that, well, again, if you know the old drawing, you can see that it's being switched up, and it's more of a representation of that day. Well, for some of them, it's the same guy. But this one is not the same guy. This is just an owl in a library, when the original Fact Keeper was not that. Similar, but not that. And then the next one I do is day 1751, Found Parent. This one, I had an idea of doing this one, which is what, big surprise, which is why I did it second. And I knew I could do it quick because I was going to get rid of that baby from the original and just make it more of a horror monster creature. So I did, that's what I, yep. you can see it. And then the next one is day 1765, Royal Rat. And this one, instead of being sitting there in a cloth throne thingy, I just had him buried in roses. I still gave him his crown and his weird light window in the background thing. And the rose eyes. All very important for his character. But no cloth this time. I also, going over these, I rendered them less than I normally render stuff. Because I knew I was gonna, do 8. And I didn't want to be spending hours upon hours doing this. Especially because I don't have that time. And in fact, I almost didn't have time to do this voiceover. But I made it. Anyway, next one that I'm doing currently. Day 1772, The Last Winged Snake. This one's pretty chill. It's supposed to be like a younger version of the one depicted in the daily art. I mean, kinda not super easy to show that. I just tried to take the cataract off the eye, which is barely noticeable. Anyway, next one. 1730. Wrong Ritual. Almost tongue twisted myself there. And like this one is like just symbolism compared to the original, where it is like the flesh of the eldritch being summoned, and then the ritual knife. There is no eyeball from the creature, and there's no cultist guy thing. So you just kind of have to know what that one is. Luckily, I told you. But again, if you don't know what that one is, well, just trust me. Trust. The next one I do. Okay, yes. Day 1786. Coral Colossus. For this one, I decided to change it up just a smidge from the original and make it more of an above ocean reef that is not really alive. It's more of like just a weird structure thing. I mean, who knows, maybe it's just sleeping. Yep, I do similar tricks to what I remember doing when I made it originally, with like that rainbow where it's 4 different screen layers of the technically same color, but then just the RGB turned off and on depending on which color I need. And I add some seagulls flying towards the thing because I thought that would look cool, even though they're, very small in this image. But honestly, that one little bit kind of makes it my favorite one out of all of these. And my least favorite one is coming up next. For day 1793, Speedy Elder. I don't know. I just don't like how this one turned out. Probably because at this point I was kind of rushing it. Because I kept looking at the clock and realized I don't have that much time left. But it's probably fine. It wasn't really fine, but we totally made it for sure, for real. But yep, you can see it. I don't know, like the background is fine, but the Speedy Elder themselves, kind of lacking in my opinion. And then I move on to the final one, which is day 1807. That's right, a week ago. For the first snake. Nice buddy relationship with the last snake. In that they're both snakes. And requested by the same person. Originally. So, this one I was also obviously rushing on it because the last one I was rushing, so of course I'm still rushing. which is kind of why the snake body itself is, like, the bottom of it is not shaped like a snake. Like, it gets weirdly thin and bumpy in some places, but luckily, with the power of covering it with steam, I covered it up. So saved. Anyway, at this point, during the drawing, I was already like, oh no, oh shoot. But, yep, added all this background. Just to make up for it. Anyway, somehow I'm a minute over, so bye.